Okay, so we made the wall. We moved the pivot by pressing D and moving it up and down. So let's move it. Let's press space bar. Go over here for space bar. So you press D, you get this, and you can move the pivot wherever you want. And I'll just move it to the bottom of this object. Press D again. So D moves the pivot when you see that, and then D, it's basically a toggle. So pivot editing mode, and now it's back in regular moving mode. So if I want to do a render on this, remember I can go here and do it. And look, now my wall's there. But this wall doesn't actually have a shader on it. So this right here, if I right click and do material attributes, remember this is our floor because we named floor. So if I click on this and I right click, assign existing material, look at this, floor is there. So it's like that's why you want to keep your stuff named. We did a project where like a lot of the materials were called like AI standard surface one, and they weren't like necessarily aligned to the objects correctly. And it was it caused a lot of confusion, and it just made things really hard to work with because the organization wasn't there. But yeah, so you want to always organize and label things correctly. Always. Okay, so yeah, let's get back in now since we did that. So let's just go back to our Arnold tab. Remember, it's the same button. These are just shortcuts. Yeah. So I'm going to, yeah. Yeah, so let's just look at some more objects. So I'll press play. I mean, some more presets. And you could also make your own presets. So right now, if I go over here, presets, let me go to blood, right? Press replace. And this is for if like this thing has like a like if it was for liquid and but blood is thicker than water. But it's like, I mean, it really, well, it really is. So you couldn't just change this to water. I think there might even be a water preset. There might be. No, but you can make your own, right? So I could go here and I think I can go ahead and change it to blue. Um, and this subsurface scatter color, I could just go in and make this like blue, or I can make it like a whitish color. You know, if I had some kind of splash, I'd do this. But let me see. If I go over here and go to good this and this. So this is what mine, Arnold. But the way the yeah, so it's got the lighting, the refraction, but it's just got that color on here. And as you can see, like when it's thinner against something, the light comes in and refracts and bounces off. But when it's inside of like an object like this, it's thicker. So it basically works like real life. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Right. So anyway, if that, let's click on this right here and go to presets and we'll do car paint. And it gives us like a clear coat. And if we look right here, one of these things says clear coat. Is it sheen? No, no, no. Oh, coat. So if coat's off, well, let me see. Yeah. So when I clicked on this, it was off. But when I added the preset of, well, let me go back and do it, of car paint, I think it also gives like little specks within the car paint as well. Oh, two-tone car paint. Let's look at that. And then if I was to like rotate around in the scene, so let me go over here to my perspective and look at this and kind of see what's happening. But like I said, these are just a starting point. They're not the thing to like rely on 100%. Orange juice. So if that was liquid, like it would just look different. But we're on a sphere, so it's not looking all that hot. Milk. So it keeps on going, and we can make some cool looks with this. But these are all like liquids, incandescent bulb. So this will give it like a glow. So now this is now like a light source. Now to see it as a light source, just go over here and click on this light manager. And what I did is I put this on my shelf. And to do that, you do this. If you go to Arnold and you go to well, any object, right? So right now, this is my Arnold tab. So any tab you want to. So how I made this here is I went over to utilities and then I went to light manager and I hold down the control button and hold down shift and then I left click. And that's how you get it on the shelf. But if you want it to stay there, you have to go over here, click this, and you go to save all shelves. You want to do this immediately. I already did it. I don't want two buttons here. You know what? Let me do it. I'll just save all shelves. So now when I open up mine and close it, I'll have two of these. And if I want to like have this in a different location, I could just left click, no, middle mouse button click and drag it and put it, wherever I want, like in between here. And if I want to delete it, I just right click and I go to delete. But then you have to go to save all shelves to make sure that it's like save. So you want to do that immediately right away. So anyway, let's go to our light manager and let's disable all of our lights. Now look at what we have. We have this right here, which is an object, but it's a light. But let's make it a cooler object. So let's go ahead and get ourselves like a cylinder, art scale. I'll scale it like this. E to rotate. I could have held down J, but I just want to do this. I can go like this and yeah. Oh, check this out. Control D. Let's move this. You know what? Let me actually give this a proper rotation. So if I hold down J, E, and J, R, scale this out. Now I'll do Control D to make another one of these. R to scale. Now scale this like this. Ooh. Then I'll do Control D, put this over here. I'll select both of these. So select, shift. I'll do shift right click and I can do combine. And then I'll name this rubber. And I'll give it a rubber material. So I right click, assign new material, Arnold, AI standard surface. And I'll just go to presets and I'll say rubber. And then I'll click on this and I'll do a right click, assign new material, Arnold, AI standard surface. And I'll name this bulb. All right. I'll select both of them and I'll do a control G for group and I'll name this FLORECENT light. LGT for light. And I'll click on center pivot right here. So now I have this right here and this is my light. Now, what I'll do is I'll give it a render. So go back to Arnold, press play. And actually, let's go to this camera. And look, my window is all like over here, just doing crazy stuff. If I want to see my window, what do I do? How do I do that? Oh, you click on one to one, and now it like centers back up. All right. So if it's out of whack, one to one will give it its true resolution, which is like 540p, and then the resolution is right here. So if I click on this and I go to this HD 540, if I change it to HD 720, now look at the window, it got bigger, right? And if I click on one to one, this is its size. So that's with that. But let's just change it back to 540 for quicker previews, because the smaller this window, the quicker the preview. And the preview means like the calculations. Remember, this thing can get like super crazy big. Like right now, we have 1080. You can make this like 8K, 16K, because this is the software they make movies in. So when you look at a movie screen, how large that is, you want to have good resolution. This will look bad on a movie screen, blown up super big. It's going to look like this, and we're going to see all the pixels. So when you do the renderings on the movies, it's like really high resolution. Anyway, so this is our light right here, but let's just change this to another preset. So let's go to, I don't know, copper, right? So now we can't really see anything. But if we go back to our fluorescent light, let's go over to our light. We can click on this, right click, and then we can go to material attributes. Now we can go to transmission. No, wait, is it transmission? Oh, emission. And if I up this up, now it's giving us a glow. Well, nah, there's actually a better way to do this. I just remembered. So right now it has this look of a light, but we can actually make this into a light. And to do that, we select this and we go to Arnold and we go to mesh light. That's what it is. Now, if we click on this, remember, this is our cylinder with our light. These are our rubber ends. But and the only way you can get to this light is to go in the list and select it. Also, another thing is if we just want to see our lights, we can go to show objects and then go to lights. And now we just have the lights in our scene. And if we want to see everything else again, we can just click off of lights or go to clear below. So now that we have this, remember exposure is the one that we really want, right? So if I click on this and I go to exposure, let's type in 25, 25, right? So we know it's working. I do that just to know that it's working. And then I go 15, and then I'll go 10. Now look, all right? So we see what this is looking like, but we don't see the light. But to see the light, we just got to click on light visible. And now we have a bulb, all right? Now, if we want to adjust the light, use color temperature. Now I can make it warm. So it's hot, inside of a microwave or stove or something. Or I can make it cool like that office light. Yeah, what they did is I had this nice warm light. It was like that. That's why I chose it. It was a smaller office. I was like, man, I like this. I don't want to move into that larger office with the refrigerator because I like this light because it just put me in a good mood. It was warm. And then one day somebody came in and changed the light to the blue light. I didn't ask them to do it. They just did that. And I just couldn't understand. I was like, why would you do that? But yeah, it was disappointing. Anyway, and I think maybe I can change the color here. No, I can't. Or maybe the color needs to be changed on this. So if I click on this and I right click and I do material attributes, let's see if I change the color of the bulb, if that would matter. So if I go to the color here and I go to red, does it change it? I'll press stop and press play again. No. So where's the color to change the bulb? Specular. Coat. Could be this. Let's see. No, that's not it. Could be this. Nope. Hmm. Geometry. How can I change this? Maybe I can't change it. I feel like I should be able to. Yeah, let's go down all these and just make them pink and see which one changes it. Sometimes you just got to go through and test things out. Sometimes I forget how to do things and I got to just do this. And then I'll just stop and play this again. No, it's still like that. Now let me click on the light right here. No. Maybe it can't change. I feel like there should be a way to do this, but like I said, I'll investigate this later. But it should be there. Definitely is a way to do this. Anyway, yeah. So I can just adjust the light here. And if I adjust the exposure, now I'm getting brighter. You know, and things are looking Cool. Remember, light visible turns off the lights, so I can make. So you know what I could do? I could just turn this off and have this here, and then have whatever it is with the material, or just make another light and put it here. So then it would look like this is giving this the glowing look. Matter of fact, I might as well do that. Right here, Control D. I have this other cylinder. I'll just take this out of the stack. All right. And then let me delete this light right here. And I have this, which is my cylinder, this bulb. Let me just give it another material. So let me just say, I don't know, foam. Just give it anything. Let me first stop. I might actually have to just make another cylinder. So let me press this. I'll press H right here. You know what the thing to do would be? To have this to duplicate this before I've done this. So if I were to go ahead, hold on one second.